Welcome back to Newsmaker Live. We'll take your calls a little later. The number will appear on your screen, and you're free to ask questions about the non-state, the non-state actors, panel in St. Lucia. It is a mechanism by the European Union because they are the largest funders of projects in St. Lucia, and they are providing a voice for civil society to be heard as far as their concerns and their interests in various projects funded by the EU. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I have with me Mr. Brandon Antoine. Just a little background about Mr. Antoine. He is currently a business analyst at Quartz OECS. He was previously an internal auditor with Quartz Caribbean. He holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Management from the University of the West Indies, Cayville campus in Barbados, and a Master's of Business Administration degree in MBA with Monroe College, St. Lucia campus, specializing in finance. Now, a little earlier on, I was saying that you had produced this report, which is basically on crime, rising crime in St. Lucia. Now, I know this is a concern for all St. Lucians, crime, and particularly too, as we had a new government elected not too long from now. I see here on your panel, and in response to crime, it says here, it is the panel's view the crime scourge is one of national importance that should not be politicized, but discussed forthrightly in an attempt to arrive at suitable solutions. That's good. Have you discussed that at all with the government?
No, Jerry. Jerry, I'm hoping before the night's end that you'll get the name right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But how did you arrive at this report? Do you all get together and this report comes, right?
Yeah, our panel will get together, listening to the views of our various members, because we have quite a bit of, from the youth to the elderly. So we'll discuss the issues and articulate our voice. Actually, that report, Jerry, we prepared this report for CDRAV, a Caribbean group. Its main aim is to reduce arms and violence, which is based in Trinidad. So we had to prepare a report on the crime and gun situation in St. Lucia. And we did some research. CAPS also help us in terms of getting statistics to back up. And like you rightly said, Jerry, crime has no political color, but it affects us all. And we as a society must come together, Jerry, and say enough is enough. Recently, you've been hearing quite a bit of gun violence, not too much guns anymore, and it's involves family members and so on. So we have to deal with these issues of conflict management, and see how best we can live as a community.
So would the composition of your panel determine the areas that you tackle for observation, monitoring, etc.?
Yeah, we tackle a wide range of issues, quite a myriad of issues. We also had some reports on human rights, dealing with human rights issues in St. Lucia, whether it be gays, lesbians, whatever. We had to write a report on the rights of a child, women's rights. We have to
workers' rights,
workers' rights as well. So we did quite an extensive report on that, which was presented to the European Mission in Barbados, and I believe they did a presentation in Brussels based on that report. So the non-state actors panel, Jerry, not only works within St. Lucia. We have a network outside of St. Lucia that we are part of. We're also part of the Caribbean Policy Development Center based in Barbados. They primarily do research and capacity building, and they also help us in these areas. When the EPA came about, discussions on the EPA came about, they took the lead in terms of helping us to educate our members and educating society on the impact of the EPA, the importance, and how it will affect the common man. So we not only focus on one issue, This year, our mandate is to focus on health.
Okay.
We've done a few workshops on various areas, whether it be non-communicable diseases and so on.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, the panel is established. I was reading that one of the difficulties, though, of the operations of the non-state actors panel is, of course, it's whether it has the capacity to make a difference in terms of what it inputs in terms of, its interaction with governments.
Yeah.
What is your feeling? What is your sense that in terms of do you feel that you have the capacity to do that?
In all cases, Jerry, there's always room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we looking steadfastly to engage government in discussions on how best that we can serve as a partner with them in terms of development for the country. And the EU emphasized our involvement in discussions through the Cotonou Agreement, and we've been part of that. Like I said, we're dormant for a while, but now our voice is getting stronger.
Okay, I certainly love to hear that. Now, if you have any questions for Mr. Brandon Antoine, who is the chairperson of the St. Lucia Non-State Actors Panel in St. Lucia, obviously, it is a civil society initiative, especially for funding projects by the European Union. You can call us here on Newsmaker Live. The number appears on your screen, and please free to talk about how you too can have your voice. Now, do you report back to the public? Once you have presented cases, as you've said, you've done reports on crime, you're monitoring the health services through the development of the new hospital, you are doing in terms of human rights. So when these reports are prepared, hopefully they go to the government and they go to the EU, but what about the public? Do you engage the public in any way to say, this is what we have done on your behalf to ensure that your voice is heard?
Yeah, Jeremy, very important point. Our public awareness campaign has not been the best, I must say. But because in the past, past executives have, seen their roles as, engaging government, engaging the EU, providing reports, and that's exactly my role right now in trying to give some public attention to the work of the panel. So yeah, so that's been lacking, and we now trying to get the work of the panel out there, trying to get people interested in the work of the panel, and for people to see how best we as civil society can come together. Because Jerry, the problems confronting our society, whether it be social, economic, cannot be solved by government alone. It has to be a partnership with all stakeholders, whether it be private sector, non-governmental organizations. We all must come to the table and have a discussions. Because whatever policies the government implement will impact our members, will impact civil society, will impact the private sector. So, we have to come together.
Yes, don't forget you can speak to Mr. Brandon Antoine about his role and, of course, the role of the St. Lucia Non-State Actors Panel, which is a civil society initiatives that work with the government in terms of funding and the work of funding agencies here in St. Lucia. As Mr. Antoine indicated, the current area of interest is the health services, and I think the funding is specifically for the new hospital. Where we were with that presently?
Not quite sure, but I think we're about 75% complete.
75%. Yes, that's good. Okay, we're coming back in just a moment. We'll take a short break right now, and when we come back, we want to look at how persons like yourself can contribute and to interface with Mr. Antoine in terms of making your voices heard on important projects that are happening here in St. Lucia.